Next, let's look at converting decimals, fractions, and percentages. So in converting a decimal to a percent, then check if the decimal is less than 1 first. If the decimal is less than 1, move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add percent. If the decimal is greater than 1, verify that this is correct, because this will end up creating a percentage greater than 100%. And then move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percentage symbol. So for example, here we've got a decimal, 0.975. And so, we kind of note that this decimal is less than 1. So this is probably okay. And if we want to convert this into a percent, just move the decimal point over 2 spots to between the 7 and the 5 and put the percentage symbol on at the end. So 0.975 is equivalent to 97.5%. Over here in example B, we've got 0.0025. And if we convert that into a percent, we just move the decimal point to the right 2 spots, and that gives us 0.25, and then just attach the percent symbol on at the end. So 0.0025 is equivalent to 0.25%. So when you're converting from a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal point to the right. Now, if you're converting percent to decimal, so you're going the other way around, then you move the decimal point 2 places to the left instead, and you remove the percent symbol. So here we're starting with 97.5%. We need to turn that into a fractional decimal. So we're going to take this decimal point and now move it to the left 2 spots to be in front of the 9. So here's the decimal point in front of the 9. And then we're going to get rid of the percentage sign. So you can see the percent sign is gone. So 97.5% is equal to 0.975. And the same is true over here with part B. I'm using the same numbers that we had above. So if we have 0.25% and we want to convert this percent into a fractional decimal, then we take the decimal point, we move it 2 to the left. And so we have a gap here, so we have to put a 0 as a placeholder in the gap. And so we're going to have 0.0025, and we get rid of the percent symbol. So 0.25% is equal to 0.0025. All right, next, we're going to look at percentages. So typically a number between 0 and 100 followed by a percent symbol is a percentage. So we've got like 68%. Decimals, fractions, and percents can be interchanged if done correctly. So we can exchange between percents and fractions, back and forth, and between fractions and decimals, back and forth. We just looked at, changing percents directly to decimals just now. So certainly you can do that. So these are all interchangeable depending on the circumstances you're in. But what we haven't talked about is, what if you're starting with a percent? How do you convert that to a fraction? Well, you notice that when we converted a decimal and a percent back and forth, we were moving 2 places, either to the left or to the right. Well, moving the decimal place, so moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left means that we are, kind of multiplying by 10 to the minus 2. All right, or we're dividing. We are dividing by 100. When we move it 2 spaces to the right, we're multiplying by 10 to the positive 2, which is multiplying by 100. So over here, we've got 98%, and we want to convert a percent into a fraction. That's why we can get rid of the percent symbol and write this as 98 over 100. Because when we're getting rid of the percent symbol, we're moving the decimal point to the left 2. And when we move 2 spaces to the left, we're basically dividing by 100. So that's how we can convert 98% to be 98 divided by 100. And 98 divided by 100 gives us this decimal equivalent of 0.98. So this is kind of how earlier we kind of leapfrogged straight over to this. But if you didn't want a percent and you didn't want a fractional decimal, and you wanted a fraction instead, that's how you can do it. Likewise, if we've got a fraction like 9 over 1,000, okay, so this is 9 divided by 1,000. Notice that we've got 3 zeros here. So what do? We take 9, and we can write 9 as 9 point. And since we're dividing by 1,000, we're dividing with 3 zeros. We can now move the decimal point to the left 1, 2, 3 places and put zeros in the gap. And that's how we get 0.09. And now to convert that to a percentage, we now move the decimal place to the right 2, and that gives us 0.9%. Okay. Now down here below, we have 68.8%. And if we want to convert that to a decimal, then we can just move this over 1, 2, and that gives us 0.688. And notice that this last digit is the thousands place. So because this last digit is in the thousands place, we can convert this decimal into a fraction by saying that we've got 688 divided by 1,000, because the 8 is in the thousands place. So this is how we can convert a decimal directly into a fraction using what we know about place value that we learned actually at the very, very beginning of this chapter. So let's look at some examples here. So let's convert 0.025 to a percent. So to convert into a percent, we need to move 2 decimal places to the right. So just go 1, 2. So that's going to be 2.5, and then add the percent sign. And let's see, now convert 27.19% to a decimal. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the decimal point, instead of 2 to the right, we're going to move it 2 to the left. So we've got 0.2719, and we get rid of the percent symbol. So here's a couple of think, pair, share examples. I won't give you the answer with this one because that's pretty much it. There isn't like anything to really work out. But try and do this on your own. Maybe Google the answer after, or just come to me and ask me, and I'll give you the answer for that. But here's a couple of examples to try.